Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with us, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Popple Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this is the chat moderator, the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what? I forgot to put my mic on, so I'm doing this.
Sweet.
I'm really happy because it's Thanksgiving break, and my plans are to read and be productive a little bit. Those are my plans. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm
music,
guessing you're...
definitely.
What's that?
I said music, definitely.
Music, of course.
Yes.
Always. Yes. I'm guessing your kind of productive is going to surpass most people's very productive, but since you kind of throw out, what, 76,000 words in your spare time?
Yeah. You know, I try.
Okay. This is a super awesome song. This has to be like the world's most underrated song. At least that's how I feel at the moment. But that's not, I guess, saying much. But I get excited about stuff, and I'm excited about this. So let's try this along with the track. Actually, don't try this along with the track. I'm just going to play it for you in case you've never heard it before. That was believable in the kids' lesson. I have a hard time believing anyone in the adults' lesson has ever heard the song before, but whatever. In case you haven't, here's what it's going to sound like at the end. 2, and a 1, 2, 3. So it's a lot of notes. And there's some pretty funky rhythms in here, but it really doesn't get too terribly difficult until we get to like the intermediate version and stuff with adding in the chords, because that's what really makes this a super jazzy song, is how many chords there are in there. And I guess some of the chromaticisms and stuff that we have in here. Chromaticisms just means using a lot of like notes that are right next to each other, instead of like having larger jumps at a time. So let's start here with the first note. We need an E. So in order to find an E, you're just gonna take any group of 2 black notes, like those or those. We would not use a group of 3. That's not gonna get you to an E. You're gonna take a group of 2. You're gonna take the note that's all the way on the right and just drag it up 1. You'll land on an E every single time. It doesn't matter which E you start on. You can start on that one or that one or that one. Any of the E's. Or you can, like I did at the beginning, play a couple E's at the same. So whatever you want. You need an E at least. We're gonna go 1 to the right, and that's gonna be an F. And then 1 to the right is gonna be a G. And this next one over here you see has a hashtag on it. It says F, but it's F hashtag, which means F sharp. So that means don't play F actually. Play the note that's slightly above F. So you're gonna play an F sharp right there. And then go back and forth between the F sharp and the G a whole lot. And I would highly recommend saying the words as you go. So this section would be beautiful day in the. And just say those words as you go. Nay is going to be an A because after G, the musical alphabet just starts back over again. So you go all the way up through A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The next one over would be an A, and then we're going to play A, G, F, E, and this funky symbol right here just means play a regular F. We know that we told you to play F sharps like a billion times in a row, but now never mind, just regular plain old F, please. That gets us to the E. Nope, it doesn't. Yeah, neighborhood, cool. And then beautiful day is just back and forth between 2 notes, just like we did a second ago. This time it doesn't include any black notes, so it's just F, E, F, E, F, E. And then G, F. So even if you just got that much of it, like that's a pretty cool, like it's got some nice little jazz-isms in there, and some little chromaticisms and stuff that it's gonna help your other playing sound more jazzy, instead of going, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, or it's like a more like pop-ish tune would go. It has this little nice little, like it's a wrong note. That one sounds terrible on its own, but when it's coupled with this other stuff, kind of makes it sound a little bit jazzier. Let's just try that much. Going from the E, that much right there, along with the track, it would sound something like this. Go ahead and play along with me. 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, go. It's, yeah. I know I lost some of you already. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly normal. So just practice the small little chunk that you can get so far, and then you add a little bit onto it, But for those of you who aren't watching live and you're pausing to practice and you're already up to where we are, the first line, let's move on to the next one. Would you be mine? Watch out for this one here. It's a D and a G and a D, and like 80% of people are going to play D and G and D, which is wrong, because it should go from D down to G and then back up to D. So watch out for the directions on the notes too, especially if this is your first few songs that you've ever tried to do is this one here. Watch out for those directions. Could you be mine? And then we get to just repeat the exact same thing we played at the top. It's a neighborly day in the beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you? And then right here is the first time that things get different. Normally we went, could you be mine? This time we're gonna go, could you be mine? And that kind of closes out that entire section. So I would say like this song, the form of this song is like an A-A-B-A, and this should be in the breakdown instead of right here. But this stuff all right here kind of gets repeated right here. So that's like if we labeled that section A, then this section would also be A. And then he's going to do something very different here that's not like either of the A's. And he's going to come back at the end And this is going to kind of be an A section again. It's basically the same thing that happens at the end that we had at the beginning. And then he's got his little ending right here, his little tag at the end. So it's kind of like A, and then, I don't know, we'd call this section like a B section and then have A at the end, which is also kind of a jazz thing as well to have an AAB form, especially for music that sounds like it's from this era. Okay, yeah. That all needs to be saved for the breakdown section. But let's try that much, the 2A sections along with the track. Here we go. Oh, really?
Hey, Jamin, it's time for our feature of the day, which is the voicing of the day.
Yes, and the voicing today is actually it's like a technique of the day as opposed to just a voicing. So later on, we're going to get to chords. So, for example, we're going to be playing a C chord, and that's what this C is about right here. So already, you could play a C chord if you just go to a C and play every other note. And so usually what we do is we just play a C chord. If you've already done several songs before, I'd recommend on this song, it's going to sound way better if you practice, instead of just playing the C chord, playing the root of the C chord low. The root of the C chord would be C. It's just like you think it would be. The root of an A chord would be an A. Okay, cool. So we got a C chord, and first we would play the root of the chord, and then come up here and play the chord. So just that right there, instead of just the regular C chord, that's going to make the whole thing sound a lot better. So if I play it just with the regular chords, it would sound like... But if I use the what we're calling the stride thing, where I play this and then play that, it already sounds. Man, what's wrong with that?
That reminds me of Heart and Soul, like just a little bit.
It's the same exact thing. That's coming up in our song breakdown.
Cool.
This song is like a glorified Heart and Soul, and I've got rhythm and everything else. Have you heard that song? As
every song is. Wait, which one?
I've got rhythm?
Probably.
Okay, yeah, it's a good answer. Yeah, you're probably right. So that thing right there is kind of makes up a large part of what this song is. There's other chords and stuff that he plays in there, but a good majority of it is just trying to play the chord, but play the root of it first. And if that's all you get out of this song and you never get any of the melody, then that's great. Just trying to practice that thing right there in your left hand and maybe adding it to some other song like Heart and Soul. Ooh, okay, now I'm distracted. That's a cool idea. I like it. Cool. So anyway, that's the stride thing. We need to get back to our song because there's a lot more notes to this after this short break. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out, and if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.